hello, hi. Hi, hello. Am I live? Refresh my dashboard? I am live, okay. It wasn't showing. Let's do more Danganronpa. I figure we'll just do nothing but Danganronpa today. It's 9 o'clock at night. Maybe I'll pivot to Minecraft. At midnight, I'll see what happens. I'll really get through. But I think for now, we'll just do as much as we can and start chapter 6. And then, one day I don't have to feel like I'm rushed for time. And we, do more of this. So, my Streamlabs. I was just like prepping stuff, doing some yard work, and prepping stuff for tomorrow for Father's Day. So I ended up taking like 9 hours. Got stung by a wasp. Okay, we're good.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
But you did it.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monami sassing me!
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far, so... This might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
Everyone, working together.
She's right, we made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that.
All right,
Even now.
let's do this.
I don't know how long the wait is, to be fair. I'm assuming he pulled it. Bro, it's only been like 24 hours, but like I don't remember any of this. Well, since we did the case, it's been like
How did Nagito stab
21
himself
hours.
with a spear?
I'm totally
Let's
what,
work
2 in the
together
morning?
and think this through.
So, you know,
When the spear
15
stabbed
hours?
Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
no, it doesn't.
If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth? Or maybe he used his front tail. I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed. What are you saying?
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
I think this is the right thing.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear?
Let's work together.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife.
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules...
No, that's wrong. Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
I see! When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail? Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's the
Hey,
problem.
Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle, just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
I see! That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear?
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to The plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once.
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time? What does that mean? Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. Just before that. Could it be? Instead of the spear and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment? Please not make me type out the stinking, the rafters. I put those together and think about it. And to figure it out. Where the spear was and what state it was in the girder, sorry. Before you stabbed Nagito. I can deal with a logic value, that's fine. What? Don't do that, man. You freaked me out. They're just coming right at me, man. It's literally freaking out. Can't do that. You're a son of a gun. I'm gonna get over you. No, don't bother. Don't bother. A spear's cord.
It's all coming together.
My phone's dying. Put that bad boy in.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we're good. We're good, man.
Perpendicular. In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP? That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support. He hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide?
No.
Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth, too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
My bad. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. Mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. According to his malice, so I've forgotten all about that until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion.
No.
Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why, I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I'm thinking it's a mistake to assume Nagito committed suicide, but what I feel so uneasy about it is it because we don't know who the traitor is,
So
or...
what are you gonna do? Is it okay to
No.
proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Is this where there's going to be a split in the endings again? In the first game? Is there different endings in this game? I don't know. Or two? A fake ending and then a real ending?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
Huh?
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
Only related to Nagito's death, and it's something that even he couldn't mess with.
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
Piece of evidence that he couldn't even mess with.
crap! I see! Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
Victim is Nagito Kamada. Body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. At the time, death was believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in the stomach, multiple stab wounds in each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife implanted through his right hand. Special part of the Monokuma file is that Shaki is worried about is what was into the Monokuma file. You are a son of a gun, you know that? I wanted that C, man. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. C. Give me an A. You can get out of here. What the heck, bro? A's. You. I need a U. S, come back. Okay, you're gone. Get out of here. I don't want you. U. S. I need E's, get out of here. S. S and then by themselves. Cause of D's can stay. F's. Ah, it's going to heck. Who does this? A. I need an A. Give me an A. I'm gonna need a T at some point. You come over here. H's? H's? My T is gone. Doesn't matter. H. H. H.
I got it! In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
That not only is there a spear stabbed in the stomach, multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was the cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
Well, Monokuma,
I plead the fifth!
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied. Even if it's just to be safe.
I don't know if there's a second ending in this game. So I'm just gonna keep making saves, or in this case, just in case.
Right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's
Never
the
mind.
case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait.
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end.
Let me see.
If we work together,
Okay, Google.
everything should be all right.
How many endings are in Danganronpa 2? Not Dana 2. How many endings are in Danganronpa 2? No. How many endings are in Danganronpa 2? It doesn't seem like no, but everyone's being kind of vague. God forbidding the actual answer, right? Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna go with no for now.
Oh,
Like, how do you define a bad ending? Yeah, that's thanks.
splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
Where all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? I'm thinking about it, Nagito said the same thing. I absolutely hope that we can overcome any despair. He said that he was yearning for it. But the situation we're in, maybe it might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. Never mind. Probably overthinking. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Let's try all mid. Okay.
No, no.
Oh, my bad. This button. Man, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought the voting time was gonna start. I won't be thinking about it rationally. There's no way it's gonna happen. We haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Is there anyone to me? I'm no longer going to keep planning to sulk alone like we always do. Alright, you passed. Friendship is measured by how long we can stand silence when they're alone with someone else. I'm gonna mean I'm the bestest of friends. Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much for now. Why do I have to be hated? Why do I have to be hated so much? Besides the fact that you snap at me like that, I don't trust you at all, not even a teensy tiny 1mm bit. How sad. Just trusting your friends is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know? You weren't even a friend in the first place. And as your older brother, let me say this, you're not even my brother. It's sad to live a life without friendship, then even sadder than watching a high school rom-com full of guys. Maybe some of the demands for that. I fell for it, totally took the man bait.
enemy. By now, there's nothing more for me to say. Anyway, my chest is full of pride right now. Everyone is united against despair. They're totally awesome. That's why I'm gonna fight too. I will fight the only way I can. I'm gonna show that guy my fearsome retaliation. That's basically it.
So if we're working together, where do we start? With the cause of death missing from the Monokuma file?
Why don't we try removing all our preconceived notions before we discuss this? In the beginning, our discussion advanced by assuming Nagito's death was caused by the spear. It's better to confirm if there are any other possibilities. That's
Other possibilities.
Oh, whoops.
If something other than the spear killed Nagito, all I can think of is the knife stabbed into his hand, but...
That was definitely a gruesome wound, but it wouldn't be the fatal wound, don't you think?
If you think the cuts on his legs and left arm aren't the fatal wounds...
Are we finished already?
I feel like it's possible that we overlooked something.
Overlooked, huh?
Let's bring up whatever we can think of, one after the other. That might clear some things up.
Exactly! We should cooperate at a time like this.
Fatal wound that wasn't a spear. We don't even know if it actually exists, but if it does, find out what it was no matter what.
Let us consider a different fatal wound.
It's not the knife in his right hand, right? It's not the other wounds, right?
With all those wounds, maybe he simply bled to death.
There's no way he burned to death.
Was the cause of death something that could
Not be seen?
It's fine, we got it.
With that.
I agree with that.
That's it. I totally forgot about that possibility. If the cause of death was something we can't see, then we have to consider poison as a possible method.
Poison?
It is true that poison is not something we can see, but why did you bring that up all of a sudden?
I remember, when I went to investigate Nagito's cottage, I discovered something really strange. Inside the refrigerator, I found a bottle of Monokuma's special poison.
Poison?
Additionally, that's a poison made specifically for killing. I see. Now that you mention it, there's no way a toxin like that doesn't relate to the case at all.
If poison was the cause of death, it would not leave an obvious wound on Nagito's body.
However, it's common for blood blotches to appear on a body that's been poisoned.
I see. You sure seem to know a lot about medicine.
What does that mean?
But even if blood blotches appear, if the body was already covered in blood, there's no way we'd notice them easily, right?
Did he wound his body just to camouflage them?
That's also a possibility.
But still, both of Nagito's hands were full. So how would he drink poison?
His left hand was tied up and gripping the spear, and his right hand had a knife stuck in it.
If it was a slow-acting poison, it is possible he consumed it in advance.
No, the warning label on the bottle explicitly states the effect is instant.
Then it's impossible. Both his hands were full just before he died.
And this is when the hardtail appears.
You're totally overvaluing that tail.
His mouth was covered with duct tape, you know. If he wanted to drink poison, how'd he get it past his lips?
If there's no way he could have drank the poison, it might be impossible. Just kidding. It's not like we're out of possibilities yet.
Are there any left?
Hell no! No matter how you slice it, he was totally killed by that spear!
Since we've already ruled out so many possibilities, it might be easier to think about what really killed him. Operation Elimination Method. The hint should be written on the poison's warning label. Maybe.
When the poison entered Nagito's body, the answer is written on the warning label. So think carefully and try to remember it. I don't remember what it said. This was like now 20 hours ago. And I was mad tired. So I'm glad it's not Hangman's Gambit and it's just Logic Dive because I can just fall into this one. Oh, you son of a... I didn't see it. How'd you like that? Frick. It was in the air. That's why I had the gas mask and stuff. And then he lit the fire. The fire was lit. What did I do to myself? Oh. Sorry, he doesn't breathe through his mouth. Look at this sucker. Just two? Okay.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
What if instead of drinking the poison, we assume he inhaled it?
Inhaled?
It's written on the poison's warning label.
And the enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please handle with care. Volatility is low. The liquid is very dangerous when vaporized.
Dangerous when vaporized. In other words, breathing in the gas is fatal.
Poison gas! Then all he had to do was breathe it in through his nose!
He breathed that poisonous gas inside the warehouse? But if poisonous gas had spread throughout the warehouse, why didn't it kill us?
Because when you breathe in the poison of the gas, it should be able to explain that mystery too. The fire. Sorry, the smoke. Is it two of these are the same thing? The sprinklers?
I see! The sprinklers in the warehouse. Thanks to those, we didn't inhale that poison gas.
The poison gas disappeared because of the sprinklers? It wasn't the fire?
Well, this was also written on the poison's warning label.
Gaseous state is heavier than air and breaks down in minutes. Susceptible to hydrolysis. Possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications.
Of course! Hydrolysis! The chemical bonds that formed the poison were broken down by the water from the sprinklers.
Also, the poison is apparently denser than air, so it probably didn't affect us because we were standing.
But Nagito was laying down, so he must have breathed in a whole bunch of it, huh?
If it meets the requirements that well, maybe it's not just a possibility anymore.
Yeah, the true cause of Nagito's death was poisoning. The wounds on his body, the spear in his stomach, it was all to keep us from learning the truth.
So what?
Huh?
We figured out that Nagito died from poison, but so what? In the end, it doesn't change the fact that he committed suicide, right? Then enough already!
Nagito inhaled the poison he prepared and died. Yeah, that still sounds like a suicide.
Well, with this, we have a clearer picture. We've also determined the true cause of death. All right, all the mysteries should be solved now. We should get on with the voting time, right?
No.
Well, but
What? There's still more?
I mean, all the mysteries have been solved yet, and in the end, Nagito's motive is still unclear. Did he commit suicide just so he could kill every last one of us? What was really his motive? Is that really okay?
Hey, what happened? There's no reason to wonder about that stuff anymore, you know.
Nagito's motive. Nagito's malice. Is it really okay? Can we really finish it this year?
There
It
might
can
have
be.
been an accomplice.
Huh?
Chiaki, what did you just say?
If Nagito committed suicide by inhaling poison that he brought, then why wasn't there anything that looked like poison at the crime scene?
Anything that looked like poison?
If Nagito brought poison to the warehouse, it's strange that we couldn't find it there.
Nagito really brought poison to the warehouse, and the thing that would really be we're left behind is container.
See,
The meat on the bone, bro.
are you talking about the container the poison was kept in?
Yeah. If Nagito brought it, it's strange we couldn't find that container anywhere, right?
He can't carry around poison without putting it in a container?
Yeah, that was written on the warning label.
Keep the liquid secure by storing it in a cool place in a glass or plastic container away from sunlight.
The container probably melted in the fire.
It's probably plastic or glass, right? There's no way it'd completely incinerate. Even the plastic fragments of the fire grenades we used to put out the fire didn't completely burn up, you know?
Then, does that mean someone got rid of the container?
So that's
That
why
was
you
the
mentioned
poison.
An accomplice.
That is impossible. I mean, an accomplice? It is just two.
Like, does that really matter all that much? I mean, even if he had an accomplice, it doesn't change the fact that Nagito still committed suicide.
You're right. Someone might have accidentally took it away from the crime scene.
Ah, you're right. You're totally right. That's totally it.
Right? Isn't it okay to close this case yet? I'm not in the mood for unexpected twists.
I don't want it to hurt anymore. I don't want to get hurt anymore by hurting someone else. Everyone's tired of doubting everybody else. I also feel that way. That's why I want just to rule this as Nagito's suicide. If I do that, nobody here will get hurt.
That's
But-
no good.
Huh?
I feel like Nagito is seeing through us. By calling this Nagito's suicide, we're trying to take the easy way out so we don't hurt anyone else. But if Nagito was here right now, he'd probably be sneering at us. He'd probably say something like, "So that's the extent of your hopes."
So Nagito's ghost is whispering to you, huh? The power of friendship bursts beyond death, huh? Still, that's
What
pretty
was the thing
messed
about Team
up.
Manga? Something like that? I didn't read it.
You just be quiet.
I get what you're saying, but in the end, the reason he died is still the same as before, right? Even if we solve this mystery, the conclusion won't change at all.
I mean, it'd be a suicide regardless, right?
Even if there really was an accomplice, is there any reason we should take the time to figure out who it is? Like Fuyuhiko said earlier, it is possible that somebody accidentally removed the poison from the crime scene.
But I just can't imagine ending this by turning our backs on the truth.
It's fine, okay? There are some things we're better off not knowing. And we probably just didn't notice it. Like maybe the container was hiding with the fire grenade fragments.
What was that feeling just now? Even though it was brief, it was like a strong flash of light running through the back of my head. Maybe what Akane just said now was a clue. From there, I might be able to reach the answer. Where Nagito brought the poison, which means the thing he used as a container was. Don't let me spill out the fire grenade, you absolute son of a gun. Oh, I'm in my wit's end, man. We'll be seeing that for a while. Come on, man. Oh, that's an F. I thought it was an E. Give it to me. Ah! 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 It's all coming to an end. What's happening? Whatever. Ooh. Bro, please, I'm gonna die. I didn't have stock. Saved.
I got it! I see. I got it!
Huh?
The fire grenades! Nagito put the poison inside one of the fire grenade canisters and transported it to the warehouse.
He used one of the fire grenade canisters?
Yeah, the container with the poison in it wasn't secretly taken away by someone. Instead, it was in a container that didn't need to be taken away in the first place. As long as he put the poison in the same container he brought to the warehouse, it can be hidden with the other fire grenades we used, so there's no need to dispose of the container later.
That bastard. He totally knew we were gonna throw those fire grenades.
Which means, did Nagito exchange the contents of a fire grenade?
Yeah, that has to be it.
When I first discovered those fire grenades, I tried to study them a little bit, but the canister was completely sealed shut by a layer of aluminum underneath the lid.
You just have to peel off that seal and swap the insides, right?
That is true, but there was no sign he was even at the break room.
Hold on. Did you say aluminum?
Hajime. Could it be?
If so, then there's no mistake. Nagito definitely swapped the contents of one of the fire grenades.
Seriously? That's impossible. Miss Sonia just said so right now.
Sonia's words are proof that the poison was swapped with the contents of a fire grenade.
Huh?
As soon as version didn't include the contents of the file, it was the aluminum. The piece of paper.
I can prove it with this. Take a look. We found this under Nagito's bed when we were investigating his cottage.
Huh? That's just a piece of trash.
No, that is not just a piece of trash. The seal I saw on that fire grenade matched this. It is the same.
You found the aluminum
Whoops.
seal under Nagito's bed?
There's more. That's not the only thing we found in Nagito's room. We also found a gas mask and gloves under his bed, too.
Did he use those when he put the poison inside the fire grenade?
It's a dangerous poison after all. He took extreme caution when swapping them.
So what's the issue? Nagito put the poison in the grenade canister, brought it with him, breathed it in, and died, right? So in the end, he still fucking committed suicide. Enough already!
You're right. If the canister wasn't thrown away, then it just means that there wasn't an accomplice after all.
See, I told you. The conclusion is still the same. Nagito committed suicide. End of story.
I admit that there wasn't an accomplice. That was just my misunderstanding.
You're right.
In actuality, the truth is even more horrifying.
What did you say?
Hey, what are you planning to say now?
What the hell? Do you still want to keep going?
Is this not settled? There is no denying that Nagito's death was a suicide.
No, it's not.
Chiaki?
I'm sorry, but I just realized it.
Realized what?
We know Nagito used the grenade canister to store the poison. So when was it deployed in the warehouse? When did Nagito breathe in the poison? When I thought along those lines, that's when I realized it.
The horrifying truth?
It probably happened at the same time.
The moment the fire grenades were brought in, and the moment Nagito breathed the poison at the same time.
I see! Are you saying it was when we all threw the fire grenades?
Yeah, I think so. When we all threw the grenades to put out the fire in the warehouse, the poison was deployed, and it converted to poison gas and killed Nagito.
If that is true, then the person who brought the poison and spread it was...
One of us.
What the heck?
One of us threw the poison grenade that killed Nagito?
Hold on a sec. Then Nagito was...
It would mean he didn't kill himself.
What the heck? You said so yourself! You said Nagito committed suicide!
Then who killed Nagito?
You mean, who's the actual killer, right?
Do you know?
Who prepared the poison fire grenade that killed Nagito?
Huh? One of us? Well, prepared it was him, but
I see.
we threw it.
It was Nagito, obviously. We just discussed this a few minutes ago.
Then who set the warehouse fire that caused one of us to throw the poisoned grenade?
It was Nagito?
I see. That was also Nagito.
Hey, how many times are you gonna ask the same damn question?
The next question will be my last. Considering all the facts up till now, why did Nagito set the warehouse on fire?
So we can grab the poison?
I see. Don't tell me. He set the warehouse on fire just so we'd have to throw the fire grenades?
He set the fire just so we'd put it out? Why'd he do that?
It was a trap.
A trap?
Preparing the poison. Creating a reason for us to throw the poison. It was all a setup by Nagito. It was all a trap to make one of us throw the poison grenade.
Seriously, I'm asking you who threw it.
I don't know. The person who threw it probably didn't know either.
Huh? Could it be... Was that Nagito's trap?
This wasn't an intentional murder. This was a murder that Nagito forced someone to do. And for that reason, he put the fire grenade that he filled with poison with the other grenades. Setting up a murder nobody can solve. That was Nagito's true goal.
What? What the hell?
Nagito did not commit murder. Instead, he manipulated someone else into killing him?
To do that, he set a trap to force someone to kill him. The poison grenade and the fire were traps. That's why the curtain was the fire's origin point. All the fire grenades we threw at the curtain shattered once they fell to the floor. Because of that, Nagito, who was laying face up on the floor, was able to breathe in the dense poison. And then...
Hold on. If that's true, you can't say the poison was the cause of death. It might be the poison's fault he let go of the spear, but the actual cause of death could be either one.
Even so, the poison is what caused him to let go of the spear.
That's right! Nagito's killer is the one who made him breathe the poison!
Are you fucking serious?
That was his trap all along. Even the wounds all over his body, it was all to mess with the evidence for what actually happened. His true goal was creating a murder that nobody can solve. He wanted to prove to us that there are mysteries that just can't be solved with educated guesses.
He probably expected that his fake suicide would be found out. After all, a mystery that can be solved is destined to be solved in the end. However, he also prepared a mystery that couldn't be solved. As you solve mysteries and bolster your hope, a huge mystery comes along and slaps you in your faces. For those of you who believe there are no unsolvable mysteries, that is when you finally taste despair. Meaning, he used all of the prior class trial verdicts to prepare this trick. Not all mysteries can be solved. Such a devious trick he played on you, as expected of Nagito.
That's totally messed up. That's so fucked up.
It is my fault, because I told you all about the fire grenades. I am so sorry! Please vote me as the killer!
That's not the fucking issue here.
It's not Miss Sonia's fault. This is all Nagito's doing.
But what should we do? how can we even figure out who the killer is?
It's impossible.
Impossible?
Nagito wanted to create a scenario where we couldn't make a decision. That's why we're at an impasse.
However, Monokuma also does not know who the killer is, right?
That's right. There's no way he'd be able to figure that out with just his surveillance cameras. If Monokuma doesn't know, this trial doesn't count. Isn't that right?
You know, I don't actually need stuff like cheap-ass surveillance cameras or whatever. I know perfectly well what's happening on this island at all times. I know you used the bathroom 3 times yesterday, Sonia. And one of those visits seemed to take a while.
Please stop! I will never become queen!
How can you? I'm so jealous. I mean, how can you have such an awful power?
So, of course this trial still counts. Do your very best to guess who the killer is.
Yes, he says. How the hell are we supposed to do that?
Is giving up all we can do?
No, it's too early to give up.
Is there any way to figure out who the killer is?
Even though it's just a hunch, it's possible that it's probably... There's one way, I think.
Really?
Hey, is it alright if we look at Nagito's crime one more time from the beginning? I want to make sure my hunch is correct. Hajime, please.
Closing argument? Okay. No, I don't know who killed Nagito, which be clear in the set the trap. I have to do it. I mean, Chiaki threw it. You don't lead to despair.
I got it. Let's do this then.
Start to. What the heck, bro? Final stop? No? We're done all the way over here. Thank you. I think this is the last one.
Here's everything that happened in this case. The person who actually arranged this incident was the victim, Nagito Komaeda. He kept a specific item inside his cottage that he needed for his plan. Monokuma's special poison, which he brought with him from the Octagon. Using the gloves and gas mask that he got from the military base, Nagito swapped the contents of a fire grenade he took from the plushie factory break room with that poison. When he did that, a specific item was left as evidence, the blue aluminum seal on the grenade. With that, Nagito finished making the poisoned fire grenade, took it with him to the factory, and put it back with the rest of the grenades in the break room. The next morning, Nagito appeared before us and declared that he hid a bomb somewhere. While we were looking for the bomb, that's when Nagito headed over to the goods warehouse. In order to set up a fire, Nagito arranged the Monokuma panels in a line going from the door to the curtain and placed an oil lighter in front of it. From there, Nagito set his insane plan in motion. First, he hung the spear that he took from Nezumi Castle from the ceiling girder by its cord. Then he tied his arms and legs at the back of the warehouse with rope. However, he burnt off the rope on his right arm beforehand.
Yeah, we're in flash marker territory. I'm gonna finish this. I have to go to the bathroom. So.
In doing so, he made sure that only his right hand was free, while his
I'm gonna get a
remaining
drink, go to
arm-
the bathroom. Whoops.
As he gripped the tip of the rope hanging over the ceiling girder with his left hand, he lay down face up, just beneath the dangling spear. But this was just the beginning of Nagito's plan. And then, he did something no one could have predicted. First, he covered his mouth with duct tape, and after making sure he was unable to scream, he stabbed himself with the knife multiple times in his left arm and in both of his thighs. Finally, he propped the knife on the plushie and slammed his right hand onto the blade. He didn't just want us to think he was tied up, he also wanted us to think he'd been tortured. Through all this, Nagito never let go of the spear. His plan still wasn't over. In fact, it was just about to begin. Meanwhile, we finally arrived at the plushie factory and found Nagito's message. After seeing his message, we instantly made our way to the warehouse. But that was part of Nagito's plan. We opened the door to the warehouse, which inadvertently started the Monokuma panel domino effect. The panels fell one after another until they reached the lighter, tipped it over, and ignited the curtain. Shocked by the sudden fire, we rushed to the factory's break room to obtain some fire-extinguishing grenades. We then aimed for the fire's origin point, which was the curtain, and unloaded the entire supply. It never occurred to us that one of those grenades was the poison grenade that Nagito had prepared. The poison sank to the floor, instantly vaporizing due to the intense heat. and spread everywhere. The poison gas quickly drifted to the curtain at the back of the warehouse where Nagito was. Also, Monokuma's poison has a unique quality in which it becomes heavier than air when vaporized. That poison gas completely surrounded the area where Nagito lay face up on the floor. There, Nagito inhaled the poison, and if it didn't instantly kill him, he certainly lost consciousness. Which caused him to let go of the rope in his left hand, and the falling spear plunged into his stomach. This is all the information related to Nagito's plan. His true intention was to set one of us up as the killer. At this time, we still don't know who the killer is, because the killer wasn't aware they killed someone. Try as we might, we cannot reach that truth. That was Nagito's trap. In conclusion, the fact that we can't determine the killer's identity this should be the truth behind Nagito's trap.
How about it, Chiaki? Will that help you figure out who the killer is?
Chiaki?
Just as I thought. It's impossible, isn't it?
Are you saying we just have to vote for someone?
What Hajime said is probably true. That's part of the reason why I thought it was a little strange. Did Nagito really not care who the killer was?
No. Huh?
He said this to us earlier.
Wouldn't it be fine? I'm pretty sure everything will work out in the end. After all, there's no way we can lose hope. Absolute hope that can break through any despair can never lose hope in a place like this. Not only that, I believe in all you all and believe in the time spent together.
That feeling of belief is at the heart of his trick. He believed we'd notice the fire grenades. He believed we'd try to extinguish the flames. And he believed we'd fall into his trap. By believing in us, Nagito was able to put his life-threatening plan into effect.
What do you mean, believe?
And what's wrong with that?
There's one more thing, remember? Something that Nagito believed in from the bottom of his heart. I want you to try to remember what that is.
I see! Nagito believed in his talent as the ultimate lucky student.
After all this time spent together, I believe in you guys. And more than anything, I believe in my ultimate luck. It's gonna be alright. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'll be right back.